Too many traders do not properly understand how to position their risk and how to approach their risk for the day. And in this video, I'd like to give you a breakdown on how I approach my overall risk, what I am aiming for from a risk-reward perspective, and give you a real-time example of how I managed my risk during a losing day and turned it into a winning day. Now, let's dive into the charts and take a look at exactly the trades that were taken today. I was streaming today and I started off the day with my first loser of the year. Now, during this trade, I'd like to make it clear, I would take this again 100 out of 100 times, right? I'm going to turn the execution labels off for 1 second so we can have a little bit more of a clear sight. But I took an entry on a 2-minute higher low after we held the opening print, and I was looking for a continued upside trend, right? So I entered right around here and I got stopped out on this push down. Again, I'll turn the execution labels on here so that you can see. You can also check the stream. The recording is on Kick. But this was my first loss of the day. I lost just under $2,000. That is the ultimate risk that I decided to take prior to this trade beginning. I knew, okay, about $2,000 is what I'm willing to risk per trade on the day. Now, being willing to risk $2,000 is a totally subjective number for me. And it does not matter what that number is for you, right? And I don't want anyone to feel bad if their number is different than someone else's number. For me, $2,000 may be one thing. For me, risking an entire prop firm account in one day might be one thing. For me, risking $10,000 on an individual trade might be one thing. Risking $100, it varies completely by person to person. But what's important is that generally speaking, your risk remains in the same range on a daily basis. Yes, some days you'll use more risk on certain trades. Some days you'll feel the need to size up and ultimately risk a little bit more because of how quality the setup is. Not arguing against that idea, but generally speaking, on an average day throughout the year, you want to keep your risk roughly the same. And for me, because I take multiple futures trades a day, my risk is generally $1,000 to $2,000, somewhere in that general range. And I don't like to lose more than like $5,000-ish on a day, right? And that's an important element of understanding what I risk per day trading futures. But we also have to understand the flip side of that, which is, what do I aim to make on an individual given day? Now, I have nothing bad to say about traders who focus on lower R to R multiples, right? However, I am a higher R to R trader. It's what I do. It's what my focus is. It's what my focus has been, always will be. I like to catch big winners, right? I know that my win rate will hover around the 50% mark. That doesn't bother me. I'm okay losing about half the time, but when I win, I want to make usually at least 2x what I lost. And that doesn't happen every single time, but it is the goal for what I hope to aim for on every single trade that I take. So while I lost about $3,000, 30 points on this first entry today, once I recognized that we were getting back above the opening print and we were offering a potential new entry on a failure to go lower, I took that. And this was the initial R to R that I was planning for. I was looking at a level at 773s, but really the bare minimum was I was looking for above a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio, right? And if you actually zoom out, I must have deleted it, but I had a second box tool here where I just had it drawn up to 2-to-1 R to R, which meant that that was the bare minimum area I wanted this chart to go in order for this trade to make sense for me. I need to be aiming to make at least 2x what I'm risking, or else the math does not make sense, right? And this trade just ended up working out very favorably. We ultimately got this pullback. I got stopped out, and I felt like the market was coming for my stop, and it was targeting me, right? Even though in reality, I knew it wasn't targeting me or anything specifically to me. That's just emotions that were coming up. And if I could keep a level head and maintain those same emotions and recognize that there is still an opportunity in this chart, right? It just might mean that I have to risk 2 trades on the day instead of 1 to capture it, right? But that is where I took my entry. I placed my stop underneath this low, and my target was the next level up here at 773s, right? And that trade ended up working out damn near perfectly. I don't know how it could have gone better. I entered right here, as you can see, and then we immediately rocketed to the upside. And it was a very straightforward trade, truthfully. It was a very straightforward trade. If you're interested in watching the trading streams, again, you can check those out on Kick. There's a link down below. They are free to watch at the moment, so please feel free. You can watch me take these trades in real time. But this was a great trading day. I didn't intend to make 2 straight trade review videos. I have my vlog that I'm hoping to edit, but this just turned out to be such a great trade and such a great example of when you take a loss, it is not the end of the world. It's just math. And you just need to understand the math behind it. And for me, the math behind this was lose $2,000, aim to make about $4,000 to $6,000. And I ended up making just under $6,000 on the second trade, around $4,000 on the day. This is my back-to-back $4,000 days to start the year. Very excited about that. Basically a couple of 2R days. I'm risking about $2,000, making about $4,000. I'm happy with that on futures. When it comes time to trade options, I'll be trading a bigger size as I, again, don't trade options every day anymore. So my risk per trade increases because I'm not trading them as frequently, right? It has been an excellent start to the year so far. I just took my first payout with Funded Next Futures on a rapid account. As I had mentioned yesterday, I love the rapid accounts. You can pass in 1 day, get a payout in 3 days. Very straightforward trading, very straightforward rules. And that's what I had been focusing on. However, now Funded Next just came out with a new plan that is really fascinating to me. It is a plan that has 1 day payouts, 1 day to rewards, which many firms are gravitating towards and putting plans in place that offer 1 day payouts. The only difference is that most of them use an intraday trailing drawdown system as the counter for those daily payouts. And I don't like that. The way I hold my winners, intraday trailing drawdown is really tough, and I can lose an account very quickly just for being in a winning trade. And so I like the idea that these new style of 1 day reward accounts can still have an end of day trailing drawdown. So this is fascinating to me with these new Bolt plans. Now, it's traditional in the sense that the profit target's 3,000 and the maximum loss limit is 2,000, but there's 2 add-ons that you can customize. You can have a daily loss limit of $1,000 or pay a little bit extra to remove that, which I am absolutely going to do. I find it to be easier to navigate this risk to reward without that daily loss limit in place. I also plan to remove the consistency rule, as in my opinion, I would also prefer to trade without the consistency rule, right? So I like the fact that I can just for a little bit of extra money make this a plan that fits my style better, right? Now, I'm not huge on math, but I do believe that before being moved live on these accounts, you could potentially turn a $100 payout, or excuse me, a $100 challenge fee into $10,000 worth of payouts. And that ROI is one of the higher in the industry overall, especially for being able to get paid out within 2 days, right? So from 1 day to passing, 1 day to rewards, and 1 day to payout. So this is a very fascinating account style for me. I am going to be trying some of these out starting today. I'm going to buy a couple of today and hopefully pass them by the end of the day, be able to start trading them on stream tomorrow. That would be fun. If you're interested in checking out Funded Next Futures, you can do so at the link down below. Code RT will save you a bit. But other than that, it has been an excellent start to the year. I could not be more excited. Again, if you're interested in watching the trading streams, feel free to head over to kick.com/RakeTrades. You'll be able to find me there pretty easily. And I love you all. I will see you in the next video. Cheers, gang, gang. All right, what up, chat? We literally just finished the stream not even 25 seconds ago. And I just wanted to make a trade review video and kind of continue on breaking down all of the trades that I've been taking on stream this week. Today was my first losing day of the year. First loss alert. right? And it was very contained. I took 3 trades, and after all 3 went wrong, I lost a total of $3,000, which if you've been following along with the last few videos, I made $4,000 each of the last 2 days, right? So having a losing day total out at around minus 3,000 actually feels pretty good, even though the last loss here really sucked. Right? So let me walk you through the 3 trades that I took. The first one of the day was on the GC on gold. And what I had taken is, it's hard to see it now, but what I had taken was actually right here. I shorted what feels like a low at that point, and it was, but we had broken under the previous bar's low after rejecting the opening print. Right? So I shorted here. I had a stop above this bar's high, which is where I got stopped out. Right? And ultimately on this trade, I ended up losing, I think it was like $1,500 or something like that. But I was trying to make around 4,000. So I felt good about this. What was kind of annoying is that the trade ended up working about 10 minutes later. I was just slightly off on timing, right? I went short right here as we failed the opening print. I got stopped as we broke above that bar's high. We swept the high of the day and then continued all the way down into my target. So that being said, I mean, this is part of life, right? Like, I took a good trade. It went wrong. I lost. Right? So that really is a very natural part of trading. And that was my first trade of the day and just a loss, right? Now, the second trade of the day is the only one that I think you could argue that I would maybe skip in a future day, because this was counter trend, right? I went long essentially after we had gotten a new low. And what I was looking at is, I thought the NQ was so strong during this push down that I thought the ES was going to fail to go lower here after this new low of day, and then get back above the opening print and get into high of day, right? So I took an entry here, and I got stopped here. That was a total of just over 4 points of stop loss, right? So at that point, after losing on gold and then losing on the ES, I was down just under $3,000, something around that realm, which felt very reasonable. As I mentioned, around $5,000 is usually the most I like to lose in a single day trading futures. If I can stay within that realm, that is pretty good for me, right? But I spotted another trade. I saw the NQ starting to act strong and setting a potential higher low here, as the ES was offering a flip opportunity. And part of the thing about the ES, the only thing I would trade about that ES trade is I wish I just traded the NQ instead. Because if the thesis of the trade was I want to play off the strength in the NQ, why not just trade the NQ itself? So when the NQ offered an entry here on a 2-minute buy yet again, right, long above that high, stop below that low, right, I thought, okay, I'm just going to take it. Right? And the risk reward wasn't great. Into the high of day, it was about a 1-to-1, which is not my usual stop targets. But I thought, hey, if we break the high of day, I don't think we're going to stop there. I think that this chart will realistically keep going. So I took an entry without really risking all that much. I took an entry on the NQ. It worked. And I swear, I don't like one thing that I usually never do is manage my positions based off of making a video, right? I try not to do that. I've done it in the past, in the beginning stages of my career as a content creator. You know, you're up $1,000, you sell because you want to make a video saying I made $1,000. Then it runs 10,000 without you, right? But we had lost 2 trades, and then this one trade had gotten us literally right back to break even. At 2R, it was essentially break even on the day, right? I was up about $30 overall after being down 3,000. And instead of selling, I just moved my stop loss to break even, right? Then I think this was some sort of China news that came in, and the China news came back down and swept us out at even. And it's annoying because we then rallied right back. And I didn't have to, like, I should be up. You look at all of the things that have happened in today's trading, I should be having a great trading day. But the reason I really want to make a YouTube video about this and go a little bit in depth with you all is because I can't emphasize this enough. Am I a little bit annoyed? Am I a little bit annoyed by how today went? Yeah, absolutely, dude. I'm a human being. Look at this chart. Look where I got stopped out. Look what happened. Like, obviously, I'm a human being. Like, I'm a little annoyed. I wish this went a little bit differently, right? There's a big difference, though, between being annoyed, right, and forgetting everything we've learned as a trader, right? From everything I've learned, everything I know, the way that I operate, today was fine. I just happened to take some losses. Am I going to go back and journal these trades and be like, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? What can I fix? No. Literally, no. I'm not. And I took 3 losers today. I need you all to get that, right? It is completely normal and within the realm of plausibility and normalcy that you could take 3 losers in a single day, right? And look back at the end and have nothing to journal about. I have nothing that I need to journal about or fix or something that like I was annoyed for the first 5 minutes when this happened. After that, I'm like, whatever. I've been here a million times before. That's not the first time it's happened. It's definitely not going to be the last time it's happened. Did I do anything stupid? No. Did I go on tilt? No. All right, well, just whatever. We get back to it tomorrow. And I think that's where the disconnect happens for a lot of traders is that in their heads, if you lose 3 trades in a row, it's like back to the drawing board. I got to completely change what I do. I did something wrong today, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. Sometimes life just doesn't go your way. Did you follow your rules? When I look back at all my trades, I'm like, did I follow my rules? Did I take a sell or a buy? I took a proper trigger. Yeah, you know what? I followed all my rules. All right. Chilling. All right, then I look back at the next trade. I'm like, okay, did I follow my rules? Do I like failure trades? Is this something that I would take again? Yeah, you know what? I would take it again. We failed the low of day. We're at all-time highs, spiking under the low of day, looking to get back above the opening print and trend back into the highs. You know what? I would do that again. Even knowing what I know now. In the NQ, I would definitely do again knowing what I know. That just feels like unfortunate luck with news and whatever. But it's part of life. But it's a lot easier to accept that once you've been through it, as opposed to pushing it and really fighting reality and being like, oh, I have, because then you're in this constant need to change what you're doing. And you don't want to do that. I don't think I did anything wrong today. I think that the trades that I just took didn't work out. And guess what? I was like a ball hair away from one trade erasing 2 losses. And more. Right? And that's just part of life. So, with that being said, first red day of the year alert, minus $3,000 on the day. I'm going to post this in conjunction with the last video that I recorded, one mega video, about 20 minutes long. So, I love you all very, very much. The vlog is still coming, and I'll check in with you soon. All right? Gang, gang.